Mr. Galvin.
Item K, I don't know if you want me to speak now on the ask for, the down form,
If you'd like to and not have to wait through the, I don't think it'll be a very long meeting, but if you'd like to speak on it now, it'll be, if you'd like to wait till that item.
I can wait if you have other things going, because it'll take a couple of minutes, but it's not going to be more than 5 minutes at most.
As Commissioner, would you like to have Mr. Galvin speak on that? And then the item can be addressed pretty quickly when we get to it. Yeah, sure. Why don't you address it now, and then you won't have to stick around for
Okay, well, I was going to stick around anyhow, because in the hallway out here, and I hope you people take the time, I'm going to leave up into the meeting, is our latest quilt, Lifekeeper Memory Quilt that Ann Tyson started. This is our 6th from here in the Gogebic Range, and it represents just the tip of the iceberg. Suicide is the 11th leading cause of death nationally. Last year we have record, which is 2007. It was 34,598 deaths in the United States. In Michigan here, there's 11,038, which is average is about 11.2 per 100,000, which is a little below the national average, which is 11.5 per 100,000. Wisconsin had about 789 deaths, and there's 13%, which is above the national average. It is the 3rd leading cause of death of teenagers, and the 2nd leading cause of death of college students. So if you have teenagers or college students, you should be especially interested in what we're giving out here. And I have some cards here that I'll have given up to anybody in the room. Maybe Keith could help me pass out. Anybody here has a teenager or a grandchild that's a teenager, might want to have one of these cards. It gives the symptoms, the risk factors, and how to intervene and how to prevent suicide. We're having a declaration or a resolution that we're going to hopefully pass tonight, declaring the week of September 5th through September 11th, National Suicide Prevention Week here in Ironwood. I've had the Gibbon County Board going to pass the same thing, and the Iron County Wisconsin Board is going to do it. But the key is, you should know, although it's the 11th leading cause of death nationally in rural America, and by every stretch of the definition that I can see, this is the mighty metropolis of Ironwood Hurley, is rural America. It ranks about 2nd leading cause of death. And I'll almost guarantee you that every single one in this room, except maybe the newcomer here that we have, our doctor, welcome, will know somebody on that quilt out there. And what we're trying to do with these quilts is break the curtain of silence and shame that is associated with suicide. Because that's one of the reasons people don't get help. The leading single cause of suicide is untreated depression. And about, anywhere from 25 to 30 million Americans every year, every single year, will suffer from depression. And of that number, only about 30% are getting any kind of treatment, and of that, probably only 15% adequate treatment. And about the deaths of suicide, 66 to 70% of the people who commit suicide are suffering from one or more diagnosable mental illnesses at the time, and one of them is usually depression. So the fact is, if you know the risk factors, you've had a history in your family of suicide, mental illness, or substance abuse, the risk factors go skyrocketing on either side of your family. If you know the symptoms, and the biggest simple one is simply a loss of interest. A loss of interest in things that you used to enjoy. They've got some hundreds here tonight, all of a sudden you don't feel like going hunting anymore. It's pretty good. Or your buddy doesn't feel like going hunting anymore. Pretty good sign that something's wrong. That's one, but they're on the cards there, all of them. And how to intervene. Most of them right now, one of the good things, the good news is depression. They have like about a 60 to 70% cure rate. That's higher than for heart disease or cancer or anything else like that. But the key is they got to get treatment. And you got to break this silence about it, because there's still a stigma attached to mental illness, you know, that people think it's more of a character defect, or it's something that you don't want to think of. It's not really an illness at all. And we know now that it is a physical illness. It's an imbalance of chemicals in the brain that brings it on, and that chemical balance can be restored through a combination of psychotherapy and medication. Okay, so I have cards. If anybody needs one of those cards, we have lots more. We're hoping to give them out to the parent of every single parent in our area here. Hurley is signed on, Wakefield is signed on, Hope Iron is going to sign on, send the letter home and Bedford. And we're trying to get Depression Spring. And if you were a parent, grandparent here, and you have a child, I would start talking to school board members and insisting that they get depression screening back into the schools. Because here's the message that we want to get out, the last message. Some suicides, like accidents, will happen. But the vast majority, just like accidents, are preventable. And preventable by A, recognizing the symptoms of depression and early intervention. That's the best way to stop. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much.